Om
अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः।
Om
ॐ
Namah
नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। ॐ नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। ॐ पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमदः पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा गृधः कस्य सिद्धनम्। ॐ कास्यपान्वयसञ्जातं नारायणपदाश्रितं श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे यतीश्वरश्रियाजुषम् कृष्णं कमलपत्राक्षं पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनम् वासुदेवं जगद्योनिं नौमि नारायणं हरिम्। कृष्णाय यादवेन्द्राय ज्ञानमुद्राय योगिने नाथाय रुक्मिणीशाय नमो वेदान्तवेदिने। श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। ॐ अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। जय श्रीमन्नारायण।
Jai Srimanarayana. So today we'll start reviewing Sloka 55. Okay, please go ahead, Andy.
I can go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Jai Shri Mannarayana, Chapter 18, Moksha Sannyasa Yogaha, Sloka 55. Bhaktva mamabhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnatva visate tadanantaram. Jai Shri. Jai Shri Mannarayana, Chapter 18, Sloka 55 summary. Lord Krishna said, by this supreme devotion, one understands me truly, who I am and how supreme I am. Thereafter, after knowing truly from that bhakti, one enters me. Jai Shri Mannarayana.
Jai Srimanarayana. Any questions on this one?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with Sloka 56 today. We'll start with the prayer. Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatno Jagattraya Guruhu Krishnam namasyamyaham Krishne namarasyatravo vinihataha Krishnaya tasmai namaha Krishna deva samutthitam jagadidam Krishnasya dasosmyaham Krishne tisthati sarvametadakhilam He Krishna samrakshamam. Jai Srimanarayana. Chapter 18, Sloka 56. Please chant. Sarva karmanyapi sada
सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा
kurvano madvyapasrayah
kurvano
कुर्वाणो मध्यपाश्रयः
matprasadadavapnoti
मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति
saswatam padamavyayam.
शाश्वतं
शाश्वतं
पद्मव्ययम्.
पदमव्ययम्.
Let's chant together. Sarva
सर्वकर्माण्यपि
karmanyapi
सदा
sada
कुर्वाणो
Kurvano
kurvano
मध्यपश्राश्रयः
matprasadapnoti
मत्प्रसाददवाप्नोति
matprasadadavapnoti
शाश्वतं
शाश्वतं
पदमव्ययम्.
padamavyayam. Okay. So, in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said, one who knows me, one who understands me truly, who I am and how supreme I am, and how one understands after knowing truly from that bhakti. Okay, so with supreme devotion, one understands me truly. Thereafter, one enters me, he said, right? So he's continuing in this loka. Sarva karmani api sada kurvanaha mat vyapasrayaha. So mad vyapasrayaha is one who takes refuge in me. Okay, one who takes refuge in me, and after taking refuge in Paramatma, what do we have? What this one does? Sarva karmani api sada kurvanaha. So always doing all activities. One who is doing all activities. Okay. So after one who takes refuge in me and always doing all activities. Okay. What happens to that person? Mat prasadat avapnoti saswatam padam avyayam. Avapnoti, no, one attains, that one attains. Saswatam padam avyayam. So that they attain. Saswatam is eternal. Avyayam is immutable, unchanging, forever. Padam is goal. So one attains eternal, immutable goal. Okay. How one attains? Not just because they are doing the activity. You know, we should not be thinking that I am doing the activity, I am taking refuge in Paramatma. That's why I'm able to get my goal by myself. No. Lord Krishna is very clearly saying, Mat prasadat, through my grace. So it is. This is the key here. Mat prasadat. We should not be thinking that my taking refuge in Paramatma, my actions are resulting in me getting the goal. Okay. No, it is because of, we have to do this. I mean, we have to take refuge in Paramatma. We have to do all the activities, okay, as service to God, but we will attain the goal, attain our goal only through Paramatma's grace. Okay. So I've given some explanation here. Let's go through that. Okay. I mean, it looks like very simple, right? So, one who takes refuge in me always and who is doing all activities also always attains eternal immutable goal through my grace. That is the quick summary. So let us go through and understand. So one who takes refuge in God means what? Okay. Who thinks God is my creator, supporter, and protector always. Always is the key. Okay. I belong to God, and everything that I think as mine, in fact, also belongs to God. Okay. I mean, imagine someone, so now let us say Russia, Ukraine war is going on. So Ukrainians are taking, they are running away from their, unfortunately, from their home, and then they are refugees in the neighboring countries, right? So they're totally dependent on the wherever they're going, right? They do not have option at all. Okay, I want to do this. I will live like this. I know I need this. I mean, there is no such thing that they can do. They are totally dependent on uh, whoever is giving them that protection, right? So imagine, I mean, that is like once we know, okay, that scenario, that practical scenario, then we understand. And now we are all freely living here. That's what we think, we are free. I am free. I'm independent. I can think by myself. I can do everything by myself. Everything belongs to me. That is our ignorance. We need to take refuge in Paramatma. It is fine. I mean, if you think that way, then we are not going in the right direction. If you think that I am independent, Lord Krishna will say, is going to tell us what is going to happen in the coming slokas. So what we have to take refuge in Paramatma. He is our creator. He is our supporter. He is our protector always. Okay. Not just, um, think that I can protect myself when everything is well, but when I run into trouble, then only think that he is my, oh God, please protect me. That is how we normally think. No, he is our protector always. I belong to God. So that's what we need to think. Not only I belong to God. I belong to God is, I means Atma here. Atma belongs to God. This body belongs to God. This entire possessions, whatever I have, and I am living in this house. I have all the, the resources that are mine, that I am saying as mine, right? And my family, my friends, my company, my country, my everything belongs to God only. Okay, that is what is taking refuge in God. God blessed me with this life to lead as He wishes. When once we take refuge in, once we surrender to Paramatma or God, um, we are going to follow His lead. I mean, He is going to, whatever is His wish, this is what we are going to say. If I have my own wish and impose on Paramatma, like, okay, I'm going to do this, whether you like it or not, that is not surrendering, right? Surrendering means, we do not have any independent thinking. We independent thinking in the sense, like, it's not like we should stop thinking. No, we do not try to put ourselves first and then do, oh, this is for me. We'll not have that ego concept. It will come later. So we completely surrender to God and do what He wishes. Okay, what He wishes has already been told in all, throughout Bhagavad Gita, right? So He blessed me with this life. He gave me birth in this particular body, and I'm going to lead this life as He wishes. I am dependent on God for everything. I am His instrument. Okay, I ascribe doership to God for everything. I dedicate all the results to God and consider the results as His blessing. So I am able to do some things. Behind that ability is God. I'm just an instrument, just like a pen. So the author uses a pen to write a story, for example. Pen is just an instrument. The one who is actually writing, is the doer, right? The story belongs to the writer, not to the pen. Even though pen is the one that actually wrote the story, we don't say that the author of the story is Pilot Pen, right? So the author of the story is the one who is actually writing using the pen. I, Atma, as well as this body, is just an instrument. Um, and I am doing all the activities as His wishes, as His wish. Okay. And I dedicate because it is not my abilities that, my own abilities that gave me the results. It is not just my abilities only that give me the results. Even if I think that, oh, this is my ability, right? But there are so many other things that are involved. We already went through that. So in getting a result, there's so many other beings are also involved. So I cannot say that a particular result is mine alone. I dedicate all the results to God. Dedicate all the results to God doesn't mean that just discard the results. Whatever results are there, I can use them, but I need to consider them as His blessings. Okay, so that attitude is missing usually in us, that we do the activity, and because, oh, I did the activity, the result belongs to me and I can enjoy by myself. That is how our thinking is. But we need to say this ability is provided to me by God, and He is the actual doer. Okay, and whatever result that we get, that we see, then as part when we do any work, the result is dedicated to God. It belongs to God, and we can use the result as His blessings. Okay, so again, every word has a significance here. That I just wanted to show you that. So one who takes refuge in me always, why does he say always? Is like so typically when we take refuge in God, or when we surrender to God, like, oh God, please save me, I'm surrendering to you, that happens after something has occurred, after something has happened, right? So first we decide what to do. I need my happiness. Okay, typically it is body happiness. I is associated with the body. I need to do something for my happiness, for my pleasure, right? Physically or mentally. Okay, so I decide what to do. Then I plan how to do it, thinking that whatever I decide, oh, this is how I am going to do it, that will give me the result that I want, right? And then I start working on it. I execute that plan. Okay, thinking that that work, what I'm doing, is done with my own abilities, and I am going to get the expected result because of that work. So this is how we typically do any activity. Then let us say the result is in a simple task, the result is certain. Then we usually don't even think of God. I want to make a cup of tea, right? And then I just make a tea and then drink it. We don't even think of God at all, right? So we think the result, I was able to make the coffee or tea, and then I'm drinking it by myself, and then I'm enjoying. Just giving us a very simple example. Any simple task or anything that we have the ability to do, we usually think, oh, I'm doing it, I'm getting the result. So we never think of God. When the result becomes uncertain, so let's say we start doing the work, and we realize that the result is not what we are going to expect, or what we are expecting. Okay, or if we fail in getting the result. Okay, so for example, um, we want to catch a train at 5 o'clock, and I start at 4:40 from home, and then I don't know whether I'm going to reach the train, catch the train or not, because there could be traffic. So then we think of God. Oh God, please make sure there is no traffic. Okay, it takes exactly 20 minutes to go to the train station, but if there is traffic, I will not be able to make it. So then we think of God. When the result is uncertain, we think of Him. And especially when things are not in our control, then we think of God. And then we fail, like or let us say we expected our health, good health. Now let's say some health problems are there, so we are facing the health problem. So that is basically we fail in our expectation, we fail in getting the result that we want. Then we again approach God, okay, and then ask Him, oh God, please give me what I failed. I mean, Lord Krishna actually told in I think 12th chapter or 9th chapter, like there are four types of people who will approach me: those who have lost wealth, or those who are seeking new wealth, right? So this is what typically it is. So those who have lost wealth is those who are already those who already failed, and then they are trying to get whatever they lost. They want to get back that. So then they approach God. So or those who are seeking new wealth is those who want a good result. Okay, so they also approach God. So these are the two times when we approach God. And so far, okay? I mean, so this is when we approach Him after the fact, not before, right? This is not always, right? If it is always, then we would have approached Him before we started doing the work, no matter how easy or difficult that is. So in some cases, when there is failure, then we attribute it to God. Oh God, you are the one who did all these things. We blame Him for our unhappiness. Okay, but when we are successful, we think that, oh, I did it. It is mine. I was able to do it by myself. Okay, so when we think that there is nothing that we can do on our own, then we surrender to God and ask Him to show His miracle, right? So when we approach God, things have already, we started, we are in the middle, or we are in the end, we lost something, or we are going to lose something. Then we approach Paramatma and say, oh God, now I'm surrendering to you. Now you help me. Now you give me what I want. Okay. That is also kind of surrendering, but now you are surrendering at the end. Okay. This is not all surrendering always. We need to have that surrendering attitude, approaching Paramatma always, forever. I mean, doesn't, for everything that we do, for everything that we, every second of our life, it is taking refuge in Paramatma always. No matter how how simple or difficult it is, right? We need to approach. So take refuge in God and not leave Him. This is one more important thing, and not leave Him. So sometimes we surrender to God, and then let us say we are not getting the result that we want, right? We expected a miracle, and that miracle did not happen. We think that, oh, because He's God, He can do any miracle. And then if the miracle did not happen, then we leave Him. Okay, we think that, oh, that was a mistake. I was dependent on someone who was not able to help me. So then we have doubts, or we totally withdraw ourselves. So that is not, again, if we have that kind of attitude when we are surrendering itself, then it is not surrendering always. It's not even surrendering in that case. We think that we are surrendering, but it is not really. If we are truly taking refuge in Paramatma or surrendering to Paramatma, then we do not have any doubts, no matter what the result is. That is what is surrendering to Paramatma always. Irrespective of where, so we need to take refuge in God and not leave Him, irrespective of whether the result is easy or difficult to achieve, whether the result is uncertain or certain, whether the result is success or failure. Okay. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Yeah,
No?
Professor Garu, this is excellent, and I think very well explained. Because often, we may not have full understanding of what actually surrendering means. Yeah, this is very helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So then Lord Krishna gave the second criteria, right? So one who takes refuge in me, the first one. Who is doing all activities also, or who is doing all activities always? What does that mean? Okay. So he's saying we should not give up the activities. Okay. So it is like take refuge in me and you will attain your goal. He didn't say that, right? Take refuge in me or surrender to me, and do all your activities, he's saying. Okay. So basically we have to do all our activities surrendering to Paramatma. So that those two are linked. Now, doing all activities, he's saying sarva karmani api sada. So what is that api here? Okay. So we should do all our activities. Now, all activities means, Nitya and Naimitika karmas. Nitya karmas are daily activities, daily or periodic activities. They are all under Nitya karmas. Periodic in the sense that they always happen, like Ekadasi, for example. So it is not daily, but it comes every, it is very certain. So it's periodic in nature. Naimitika is occasional, when certain things happen, right? So when someone is born, someone dies, we do certain activities. So it is not like periodically happening. It is some based on an event they occur, right? Occasional activities.
Festivals, what about festivals, sir? Will they come under Nitya or Naimitika?
Festivals come under Nitya, I think. Yeah, Nitya only. There was maybe there was some misunderstanding earlier or some they appear like occasional. For example, the eclipse, solar eclipse and
Lunar eclipse.
lunar eclipse is occasional. It is not like it happens sometimes. It's not always, right? Like it is not like every 15th day it happens, or every for example, Ugadi happens every year.
Yes.
Okay, so it is not like there is no uncertainty there, right? So we could treat that if we are treating as a daily activity is Nitya, and then anything that is not daily as Naimitika, then you can put celebrating festivals as Naimitika, that is fine. But Nitya is including not just daily activities. It also includes activities which are periodic in nature. Okay, every week, every 15 days, every year, it exactly happens on the same day. So then it is Nitya activity. There's no uncertainty in there. Naimitika is suddenly, oh, tomorrow there's a solar eclipse. So, okay, I have to do these things. Or someone is born, right? You do 21st day or 11th day, 21st day when a kid is born. That is not happening on a daily basis or even yearly basis, right? Whenever that event occurs, then we do it.
Okay.
So these are, we have to do Nitya and Naimitika karmas. That is what was given earlier, right? So Kamya karmas was a question. Like we should not be, we should try to avoid the Kamya karmas. Okay. So even those Kamya karmas, if you are doing, okay, those also should be done as service to God, taking refuge in Paramatma, surrendering to Paramatma. Okay, so that is what that api indicates here. So Kamya karma, say, for example, I give the examples here. Building statue of equality, spreading the message of equality to all, conducting yajna to alleviate the pains of the society, the coronavirus, or we had the financial disasters, the depressions or droughts, and those are all the certain things happen, and we have certain desires to relieve pain for the society. Okay, so those are Kamya karmas. Our Vedas have given given the procedure on how to conduct those activities. For example, how to conduct the yajna. At Sri Swamiji has conducted the yajna, right, recently for the alleviating the pain of this coronavirus. So for removing the coronavirus from the society, reducing the impact of coronavirus from the society. It was so amazing that when like a week or 2 weeks before it started, it was at peak in India. January 15th was at the peak. Almost everyone had corona at that time. And February 14th, almost like no one, I mean, it was like completely vanished almost. February 14th, the yajna ended. It completely vanished almost. And Indian government removed restrictions on travel on February 14th. Everything started happening normally. A few people may be still getting it, but it wasn't like how it was when the Delta virus came, how Omicron, when it started, almost everyone was suffering. Even though so many people came to the Igna, so many people participated in closed corridor, and there was so much rush, but still, uh, you know, that is the power of the scriptures. That is the power of Paramatma. That's the power of doing the activities as per the scriptures. That is the power of Sri Swamiji's Sankalpa. That the virus is totally gone from the society. So that is an activity that is done with a particular desire, right? When the desire is not, oh, I want to enjoy, I need $1 million. It's not like that. So the desire is according to the scriptures. We want to eliminate coronavirus from the society or reduce the impact of coronavirus from society. So that desire also should be done according to as a refuge, as a service to God, taking refuge in God. It is not like I want to do it. I mean, see, if you do nitya karma and namitya karma as taking refuge in God, as service to God, and if you leave it at that, then we may think, oh, if it is a desired, if the activity is a kamya karma, it's a desire activity, then I can do by myself, right? I can start thinking that, okay, this desire is for me. So I can think that I am doing this and the result belongs to me. No, the desire activities also should be done as, as service to God, taking refuge in God always. That is what Lord Krishna is saying here. So we should not have the desires like I need, the desires that will grow our ego and things like that. Okay, so I mean there is a that is a separate topic, but you understand, right? Like so the desires should, if the desire is according to dharma, okay, and a perfect example is conducting yajna to release pain from the society, or conducting yajna to get more rains to help the society. So those kind of kamya karmas, even they have to be done taking refuge in God always. Okay. So do all, I mean, there's one more thing. So Lord Krishna is saying, such person attains eternal immutable goal through my grace. Okay. So Lord Krishna is stating, one attains the goal neither by certain types of activities nor by successful results of those activities. Okay. One attains the supreme goal of eternal bliss or liberation only through Lord's grace. So here, the activities themselves are not giving us the liberation. The activities, success in those activities are not what is giving us the liberation. Right? So, and it also doesn't say that the kind of activities like, okay, doing certain type of activity will give me liberation, not the other type of activities. Do all your activities, no matter what it is, taking refuge in God. Through my grace, you will get the liberation, he's saying. Okay. So he did not say that only those who do specific activities or only some classes or subclasses are eligible for attaining liberation. Everyone taking refuge in God always, performing any activity, okay? Now it became performing any activity, right? As per taking refuge in God. So why I'm saying that taking refuge in God is, like if you say, oh, doing any activity, taking refuge in God is going to lead me to liberation, then okay, I can start hurting other people. I can start doing whatever I want. Okay, that is also an activity, right? I'll start, um, troubling, killing, and hurting other people or whatever. I'm sure, insulting others, and making chaos in the society. Okay, or hurting the nature. One more thing, hurting the nature, hurting other animals. So if I say that performing any activity can give me liberation, then even those activities should be able to give me liberation. No, if I am doing those activities, I may be attributing them to God, but it is not really taking refuge in God. Okay, taking refuge in God means I'm doing God's activities, not like, okay, I will do whatever I want, but I will assign God's name to it. It is not like, I will build whatever I want, but I will put a tag on it. Right? And then sell it as God's creation. No. If I am doing any activity, that any activity is according to God's wish, that is the primary criteria. It cannot be like I will do any activity and then say, okay, it is God's wish, and then I'll try to do that activity. No. There are people who, let's say, hurt other people in the name of God. Okay. So they say, oh, I'm doing this because my God told me to do this. Okay. So they attribute, but internally they have a different, um, um, the reason why they are doing it is different. Okay. And they want to do that, but they think that, oh, it's God who gave me that. And then it is okay for me because God told me it is okay for me to hurt other people. Okay. So that is not going to give liberation. It should be according to God's wish. Is it God's wish that other person belonging to another class or society or culture or religion should be hurt? Okay. If it is, if there's only one God, if that's what we believe in, then one God cannot have a bias for one person and compared to another person, right? One being compared to another being, animal and human. God should be, and of course, according to Bhagavad Gita, all are dear to Paramatma only. There is no bias. He's not biased at all, right? So if I am hurting another person, another being, claiming God, then it is not God's wish. So it doesn't become taking refuge in God. So that activity, that even though I may be taking God's name and doing it, that activity will not give me liberation. It is going to give me troubles later. Okay. So is that clear? I tried to be not controversial as much as possible, but this is something that typically happens in society, where people may take God's name or God, or use, they say that, oh, I'm surrendering to God and doing this, but they may do activities which are against God's wish. It's of course it is out of ignorance and all that. that's fine. They may not really know what's happening. So, but they should be having the knowledge based on Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge that we need to have that it is not going to give us liberation. And it is not going to help the other person also, because you're hurting. If you're at least you're helping the other person in getting liberation, and I'm getting hurt, no problem. That's what Bhagavad Ramanuja did. Bhagavad Ramanuja spread the Ashtakshari Mahamantra to common people in the society. When everybody believed that doing such an act will give whoever is spreading it, they are going to be going to Naraka or hell. The people who are getting it, they will go to Swarga or liberation. They will be going to a higher level. So Bhagavad Ramanji said, that's fine. If other people are getting the benefit, it's fine. If I don't get the benefit, if I suffer, it is okay for me. Let other people, let other people get the advantage, get the benefit. So if that is fine, but if I am hurting another person for my benefit, because I am going to get the liberation, because my God said that, that is ignorance, according to Bhagavad Gita. We shouldn't be hurting another person thinking that I'm going to get the liberation.
Yes.
Okay. So that is 56. We'll move on to 57. Sloka 57. Chetasa sarva karmani
Chetasa sarva karmani
Mayi sanyasya matparaha
Mayi
Mayi
sanyasya
sanyasya matparaha
Buddhi yogamupasritya
buddhi
Buddhi
yoga
yogamupashritya
Macchitta satatam bhava.
machittam
Machchitta satatam
bhava
bhava
Let's chant together.
Chetasa
Chetasa
sarva
sarva
karmani
karmani
Mayi
mayi
sanyasya
sanyasya
matparaha
matparaha
Buddhi
Buddhi
yogamupashritya
yogamupasritya Macchitta
Machchitta
satatam
satatam
bhava.
bhava.
Okay. So we have to do all our activities taking refuge in Paramatma according to the last sloka, right? So when we do that, we attain our goal, eternal, immutable goal. Not the this is not the goal like our materialistic goals. This is the eternal, immutable goal. That is our liberation. Okay. Or reaching Paramatma, in other words, or not taking birth again and again. So in this sloka 57, Lord Krishna is saying, Chetasa sarva karmani. One moment. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha. Sarva karmani mayi sanyasya. So after dedicating all activities, sarva karmani, all works, in me. Okay. So I mean, it is continuing from the previous sloka, right? So he said, take refuge in me and do all the activities. So that is sanyasya sarva karmani mai. Okay, sarva karmani mai sanyasya. Chetasa is with manas. Chetasa is simply with manas or mind. So with manas, dedicate all our activities in Paramatma. Okay. Matparaha is one who is thinking of Paramatma as the supreme goal. Okay. Here Lord Krishna is saying Matparaha is one who is thinking of me alone as Paraha, supreme ultimate goal. So me here is God or Paramatma. So one who is thinking of me as supreme goal, buddhi yogam upasritya machittah satatam bhava. Buddhi yogam upasritya, after taking refuge in this buddhi yoga, okay, buddhi yogam upasritya machittah satatam bhava. So become one who meditates on me or concentrates mind on me, satatam, always. Okay. So we are doing all our activities, okay, as service to God. We take refuge in Paramatma. That means we are ascribing all doership to Paramatma. The results belong to Paramatma. I belong to God. I am subservient to God. So with that attitude, I am doing the work. Okay. And what is my goal? My goal is Paramatma. Okay, that is the only goal I have. So I'm doing all these activities, but the goal is not the results of those activities alone. The activities are there because I need to do them. Okay, I cannot just simply discard the activities. Then I'll have trouble, right? So we went through all that, right? Why we have to do the activities, all that we have seen in the previous chapter, previous slokas. So I'm just doing the activities, but that is not my goal. My goal is Paramatma. So that is my single goal, to reach him. So, and I'm doing these activities buddhi yoga upasritya. So my mind, like with that buddhi, that I need to reach Paramatma. So I take refuge in that buddhi yogam. Okay. And then I do the activities. So then I become one who is always focused on Paramatma, whose mind is always focused on Paramatma. Okay, who is meditating on Paramatma. It's not like meditating on Paramatma doesn't mean that sitting at the corner of a room and then or under a tree and then do the meditation. So while doing all these activities, we are still thinking of Paramatma, because every time, like whether it is a nitya karma, naimittika karma, kamya karma, it doesn't matter. Whatever activity I'm doing doesn't matter. Every activity is his wish. I am just dependent on him. I am an instrument. I'm just an instrument. This result belongs to him. I am enjoying the result given by him. Okay, so everywhere that he is coming into picture, Paramatma is coming into picture in our thinking. So our mind is always focused on Paramatma, not on the activities. I mean, we do the activities properly. That is fine. But we don't get disturbed by those activities at all. Our focus, our mind is only on Paramatma. Okay. So just trying to give an example. So let us imagine we are working in a company. Okay. When we do any work as part of our job, Do we claim that the work is our own? And do we take ownership of the results? That is the primary question, right? Like I'm working in a company every day, and then I go to the office and then start doing whatever I want. And then whatever I build, whatever I produce in the office, I say, oh, this belongs to me, and then carry it with me. Is that what happens in a company?
No.
No, right? If we claim like that, if we claim ownership, then we will immediately be fired from the job, right? The job that we are doing, the job belongs to the company. We are just performing our duties, following the procedures of the company. Any work products belong to, that we produce, right? They belong to the company, not to us. Just because I worked on it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the company. Okay. We are, because we worked on it, I mean, in the company, we are compensated for whatever we do in terms of salary or bonus and all that. But we know that we cannot simply carry out and sell whatever work products we make as part of our job, right? We need to apply similar understanding to this body when we are living in this body, in this society, in this universe. Okay, I mean, dedicating all activities to God, it is difficult to understand to some extent. But if we apply, I thought this is a simple example where we'll understand with this example that when we do any activity, we don't think it belongs to me. It belongs to company, right? I mean, it never occurs to us that I need to carry whatever I did, and then I can do whatever I want with it. Okay, so similar, I mean, let us apply that logic. Imagine this entire universe is a company. Okay, God is the owner, creator of this company, and making everything function in this company. Start imagining. Okay, we are temporarily here in this body doing a job that is assigned to us. We all have, when we came into this universe, in this body, we all have a job that is given to us. Okay, and we are supposed to do that job. Now, God has given us some principles of working in this company, how we need to work, and how we need to work with each other. Because when we go to a company, every company has hundreds of procedures documents, right? Do's and don'ts, so that it can work properly, like HR policies, and then when we are producing something, all the procedures will be there. So we are given some certain procedures in the company. Like that, God has also given us some procedures. Working in this company means living here in this universe, okay, in the form of scriptures. Okay, and the summary of those scriptures is this Bhagavad Gita. So we have so many scriptures which contain the good moral practices. That is what we are calling them as dharma. Telling us who we are. First of all, like when we go and do a job, I am, say, a software developer. So that describes who is a software developer, isn't it? Or when I'm working in a department, there's some procedure, some document that describes what is the department, what do they do. Like that, I mean, that is who we are. We know in a company. Here, when we get into this universe, in this body, when we take birth in this universe, we don't know who we are. We think this is our body. Just like when we land into a company, and when we look around and then see, try to decide, oh, okay, maybe I am in HR, and then I start doing the HR work. That's it may or may not be right, because I could be on a floor which is having HR and then sales and marketing or something else, If I just don't know who I am, and then just land in that floor, I could be doing any kind of activity and I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so we are given certain procedures by God, and if we follow these principles that are given to us, we will make progress and reach our goal. Whatever we do in this company, that is universe, whatever we do, as part of living in this universe, is supported by the owner, which is God, right? Everything in this universe is supported by him. Like in the company, right? The companies, they're like, I go and simply start working on a computer. There's somebody who is providing all those resources to me to work there, right? So same way, this owner, which is God, is supplying everything to me to live in this universe, supporting me with whatever I need in order to live, okay, in order to do any activity here, okay. He gives everything to us to survive in this universe. He created different departments and appointed leaders for each of those departments to support all beings, all employees. I mean, imagine all this entire universe has a lot of departments. Okay, everybody is doing their own job. Sun is doing its job, air is doing its job, rain is doing its job, and earth is doing its job. Trees are doing their job, and rivers are doing their job. Human beings are doing their job, and animals doing their job. So, I mean, so this entire universe is divided into different departments and allocated responsibilities to each, appointed certain heads in each of these in each of these departments, and then supporting all of them, with providing them with whatever abilities that they need. Okay, when we develop or produce anything in this company, so that means when we are living and then we are doing some activity and we produce something doing those activities, okay, it involves direct and indirect participation from several others. Okay, it is not my activity alone that is producing that. Like when we go to a company and a project is delivered, it is not simply that my work alone that produce the result, right? There are several team members. When all of them are able to work because they are recruited by HR. HR is giving them salaries. Now HR is involved. Then they're all working in on computers that are supported by IT department. So the IT department is involved. So then this that entire company is even supported by the government through infrastructure and things like that. So there's so many people involved in. Even if I say, oh, this is my work alone that produced the result, I'm a single person who did the project. Still, there are so many people who are involved in producing that result. So, and all of them are supported by, again, the owner, right? Or the creator. That is, so in case of universe, that is Paramatma. Okay, so everybody is supported by him only. So now we dedicate whatever activities that we do to Paramatma. Okay, knowing all this, whatever activity that we did is because of Paramatma. Whatever result is produced is because of Paramatma. So that result belongs to Paramatma. Okay, and I can be compensated. I mean, in case of company, they just pay me salary and all that. It is not equivalent to like if I produce some, let us say, table, and then they sell the table, then pay me. No, they pay me something irrespective of I produce a table that day or not, right? So my salary is, my compensation is kind of not directly linked to what I produce. Okay. of course, somehow it is indirectly linked. In case of our living, there's no connection even. Okay, unfortunately, we think that that whatever the result comes is because of us, but it is not. So we should dedicate all our activities to Paramatma. So after dedicating all our all works in Paramatma with mind means with all this knowledge, with Buddhi Yoga, right? We understand so we know that with mind means so God is a creator. So we in our mind we know, we have this knowledge, right? Supported by the wisdom. We need to think God is a creator and ruler of this entire universe. Whatever I'm doing is supported by him. I am subservient to him, and I am doing his work, and I'm doing it for him. So that is what is after dedicating all works in me with the mind means so far. Okay. So unfortunately, we are ignorant of this, so we don't dedicate our work to him, thinking that the work is, I'm doing the work and the result belongs to me. So that is where the problem is. So this is Lord Krishna is very clearly telling us that we dedicate our work to Paramatma. In Paramatma is saying, okay, with the wisdom, supported by our wisdom, not simply blindly doing it. I mean, it is supported by our wisdom. With our mind we do it. Okay. Do all. So and then next statement he is saying, so do all the works thinking of me alone as a supreme goal, right? Thinking of me alone as supreme goal. So what does that mean? So when we do some work, our goal is to get a favorable result as per our expectations, right? Whenever we do some work with, oh, this is the result I am expecting. If the result, after we do the work, we get some result. And if the result is favorable, then our goal is satisfied and we become happy. If the result is not favorable, okay, then we are sad. Simple, right? The result is favorable, happy, no, not favorable, unhappy or sad. We forget why we are even doing all these works. Okay, we think they are for us, for our enjoyment. So as we said, right, like these works are for Paramatma, it is not for us. Lord Krishna is reminding us the goal of doing any works is not to enjoy the results of those works. Okay, so I'm doing this work, dedicating it to Paramatma. It is his work. I'm doing it for him. Okay, has nothing to do with my goal. My goal is only Paramatma. Our goal must be to reach the state equivalent to God. That means I need to get liberation. Okay, it's not same as becoming God. I need to reach a state where I do not take birth again and again. Okay, a state that is equivalent to Paramatma. Our goal is to come out of the samsara that is giving us births, where we are forgetting who we are and what is our goal. Okay, this birth, whatever we are taking in this universe, it is not giving us permanent unlimited happiness. I mean, we are thinking that my goal is happiness and restricting it to just that result of the activities that we are doing. Our goal is happiness, but our goal is not the temporary happiness. Our goal is actually permanent unlimited happiness. That we will be able to get only when we reach the state of liberation. Okay. So that is our goal. Whatever activities that we are doing have nothing to do with our goal, right? If I am limiting my happiness only to the results of the activities, whether it's favorable or unfavorable, then I'm becoming happy, sad like that. So it is not my goal. My goal is permanent happiness. Okay. So um, Lord Krishna is saying here in this sloka, okay, do all works thinking of me alone as supreme goal, right? So we need to always have him as our goal. Only when we have such goal, we will work towards it. So, I mean, typically when we don't, when we set an exam, when set a goal, right? I need to, let us say, get promotion, for example, in a job. Then I work for it. I work towards it. Or I need to be successful in a project. I work for it. So if I set a goal, then I work for it. If I don't set the goal, I don't work for it. If I set my goal thinking of Paramatma, then I'll work for it. If my goal is limited to just enjoying the results of my activities, then I'm always having the states of happiness and unhappiness. I'm not reaching the permanent happiness goal. Okay. And in this sloka, Lord Krishna is also saying, after taking refuge in Buddhi Yoga, in this Buddhi Yoga, become one who concentrates mind on me always. Okay. So Lord Krishna is asking us to have this Buddhi with our state of mind conducive to union with God. So that is a Buddhi. I mean, Buddhi is the intellect, the discriminating power, right? So I need to understand, I need to differentiate between, okay, do I want permanent happiness? Do I want temporary happiness? So my Buddhi should tell me, oh, I want my permanent happiness. I want union with Paramatma. I want to reach state of liberation. With that Buddhi, that is a Buddhi Yoga. With that Buddhi, I need to perform the activities. My mind is controlled by that Buddhi. So my mind is focused on Paramatma. And then my mind controls my senses. So like that. So it will go from Buddhi to mind to senses. So whatever we think of whenever we think of any task, we think, what's in it for me? Okay. Typically, that is what we think. This is how we are born and brought up. And we are taught this, what's in it for me, in all our schools, colleges, and management schools as well. Like every time, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? If there's nothing in it for me, I won't do it. That for me is my enjoyment, my growth, I will get more money, more fame, more, um, enjoyments. I mean, so that is all we were looking for, what's in it for me. So it is egocentric. Okay. This is one of the primary root causes of our suffering. Instead of thinking what's in it for me, we should be thinking what's in it for him. Because whatever we do, okay, that's what Lord Krishna is saying. Do all activities, dedicating all works to me. Okay, taking refuge in me, as service to me. You are just an instrument. So it is not about us. It is about him. Okay. So whatever may be the activity, if it is pleasing him, I should be doing it. It is not what is pleasing to me or what is giving me benefits. That is Sloka 57. Any questions on Sloka 57?
No, sir.
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to Sloka 58. Please stand. Machitta sarva durgani
Machitta sarva durgani
mat prasadat tarishyasi
mat prasadat tarishyasi
atha chetvam ahankarat
atha chetvam ahankarat
nasroshyasi vinangshyasi.
nasroshyasi vinamshyasi.
Let's chant together. Machitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankarat nasroshyasi
Nasroshyasi
vinangshyasi.
vinamshyasi.
Lord Krishna is saying. So in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said that focus your mind on me, right? And now 57, Lord Krishna said, concentrate. You become one who focuses mind on me, concentrates mind on me, or meditates on me always, right? So he's continuing from there. Machittaha. So with mind concentrated on me, Sarvar Durgani Tarishyasi. Sarva Durgani is all difficulties. Okay. Tarishyasi is you will overcome. So what he's saying is you will overcome or you will cross over all difficulties. So when we focus our mind on Paramatma, when we meditate on Paramatma, when we do exactly what as what Lord Krishna said, right? Taking refuge in Paramatma, do all our activities and dedicate all activities to God. So then we become focused on Paramatma. When we focused on Paramatma and doing all our activities, then we will overcome or cross over all our difficulties. And again, he's saying Mat Prasadat. I mean, it's coming constantly. We shouldn't be thinking, oh, I did those activities, that's why all the difficulties are gone. It is not because of our efforts. Because I was able to concentrate on Paramatma, my difficulties are now over. Then what happens is our ego will develop. Okay. Thinking that I am independent. We are not independent. We are just an instrument. We are just following his instruction. The result of removing all our difficulties is through Paramatma's grace only. Mat prasadat. Okay. Athachet tvam ahankarat nasrosyasi. So atha, however, ahankara, due to ahankara, chet tvam nasrosyasi. If you do not listen, okay, vinangshasi, you will perish. Very simple. So basically, Lord Krishna is saying, what do we get when we follow what he said? We become focused on Paramatma. Mind concentrates on Paramatma. Right? When we do that, we will be able to overcome our difficulties through grace, through Paramatma's grace. However, due to our ego, due to ahankara, okay, if we do not listen or if we do not practice what he said, okay, then we will perish. Okay. Right. So there are a few things here. We will overcome our difficulties. We need to understand the difficulties part and what is perish here. I mean, Atma will never perish, right? Will not die, will not be destroyed. So what is the perish here means? And so we need to understand that, right? It is not about if you do not listen, you will perish. Doesn't, basically body will perish no matter, right? No matter what we do. Atma will never perish. Perish means destroyed or vanish, right? So what is this perish? The English means when it is translated to perish, then if I do not know that Atma doesn't perish at all, Atma will not be destroyed, then it will be a little confusing. So let us look at that. Okay. So in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna advised us to meditate or focus our mind on God always. Okay. He is explaining why we need to do that in the current sloka. If we concentrate on God with our mind, with wisdom, we will overcome all our difficulties. Typically, when we think of difficulties, we think of lack of food, lack of money, lack of health, lack of family support, lack of comforts, lack of peace, lack of honor, respect, and so on, right? I mean, these are all our difficulties typically. Oh, I'm having so much difficulty, we think one of these categories are we are not getting the result that we want. I mean, we are having some issues. So are there real difficulties? Right? What is the real difficulty?
Reaching Paramatma.
Not reaching Paramatma.
Okay.
Right?
Taking rebirth.
Taking rebirth. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, anyone who takes birth, is it possible to not have difficulties at all?
No.
No, right?
No.
I mean, no matter how famous one is, how rich someone is, how talented one is, everyone is going to have difficulties in their life, right? Everyone's life is filled with pain only. And, so, I mean, some people like, let's say we start removing the pains and, someone is really rich, okay? They don't have to work for living, for example. If you ask them to even do the work for 10 minutes, they will say, oh, I'm having so many difficulties, right? So it'll go to that extent. Like that having difficulty in our life is relative in nature, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, someone who is working 12 hours very hard, okay, sometimes they don't feel that as difficult compared to someone who is just working for 12 minutes. Okay. So it is all relative in nature. So one is difficulties cannot be avoided. Difficulties are relative in nature. Okay. So, but what is the real difficulty here? So, I mean, so given that difficulties cannot be avoided, difficulties are relative in nature, even a person who we think has everything in their life, they also feel difficulties. Okay. To outsiders, it'll appear, oh, what is problem? What is this guy's problem? But they'll say, oh, I'm having so many difficulties. I can't sleep. A person who is having too much wealth can't sleep. Too much power, can't sleep. Always, thinking somebody's going to hurt them. Somebody's going to take away their money, and somebody's going to, if someone has power, someone is going to take away my power. All these fears will be there. They're all difficulties, right? And even simple actions becomes difficulties when we look at it that way. I mean, who wants to work? I mean, if let us say, so I have to work for 8 hours and get $100 for me to eat, it may not be difficult, but given a chance, I'll say, I don't want to work for 8 hours. Give me $100, right? So because I think that is why I have to go through the pain. So everyone's life is filled with difficulties only. Okay. So the real difficulty is actually taking birth here as a human. Okay. Uh, and what if, I mean, we are only comparing now. So far, we compared ourselves to, the difficulties as human. Have we thought about like, human also, like we have all senses properly. People who are handicapped, think about that, how much difficulties they are going through. Now, compared to a human, animals, how much the pain they are going through, difficulties they are going through, right? So, are the difficulties for those animals greater or higher, right? They are even higher.
Yes,
For
that
survival.
that is
Yeah.
true.
So we need to think why we are getting these difficulties. What is the root cause of difficulties? Okay. The real difficulties are those which are binding us in this cycle of births. Okay. So which is the result? Sorry. Uh, so these difficulties, they are giving us that binding, right? They are giving us. They are causing us to take birth. Okay. So that is the real difficulty. Not the, I have to wash dishes and then cook and then I have to go to office every day and then, I have to do all these chores in the at home. And those are not, those difficulties are because of what the real difficulties that I faced, which gave me these difficulties. Okay. So, for example, having raga dvesha. Okay. Those will give me, um, you know, this karmic bondage, right? They are the real enemies. Okay. So those are the actual difficulties. Now, having the raga and desha are the difficulties because they gave me so much. Like, what is a difficulty? I mean, I'm sorry if I'm taking more time. Like, why we don't like, why we think something is difficult is we get some, let us say I have to wash clothes manually, like not in a washer dryer, but I have to go to a river bank 10 kilometers away, and then I have to wash the clothes for 2 hours, bend, and then like that. Why do I call that as difficulty? Is because when I complete the task, I'm so miserable, right? While doing the task itself, I may feel miserable, and after the task is over, I'm so tired, and all my body starts paining, isn't it? So because of that, I call that activity as difficult. Now, so raga and dvesha, or any activity that is binding me to this particular life, is the real difficulty. Because once I because of the binding, I am taking birth, I have to go through all these troubles. It's like, after washing that clothes for 2 hours, I have to have the pain in my body, right? So the real difficulties are those which are giving me karmic bondage. Okay. If we focus on God and follow his advice, through his grace, we will overcome all the difficulties that bind us in this samsara. We'll get rid of the karmic bondage. Right? So if let us say, a guy who has to walk so far and then wash the clothes manually, bending and hitting the clothes on a stone, like probably all of you can imagine. If we tell that person, okay, now you have water in your home, put all the clothes in a washer dryers, turn on the switch, and then it will wash by itself. All the difficulties are solved, right?
Yes.
There is no physical pain for anything while doing the activity or after. So because that physical pain has been removed, I say my difficulties have been removed. So I overcame or crossed over my difficulties. Now, by following Lord Krishna's advice, we are able to remove those difficulties, which would have given us this karmic bondage, which would have put me in this cycle of births, and every birth we have to go through these pains. Okay, so Lord Krishna is saying, if you concentrate your mind on me, with everything that he explained in the previous slokas, do all your activities, you will overcome the difficulties. That means you will not get the karmic bondage. Not that I mean, somehow okay, again, he's saying that through my grace. So we have to remember that every time, again and again, that it happens only through his grace, not automatically because we have decided to think of God. Not just because we believed in God, we start thinking about him, we start surrendering to him. Not because of our abilities that we think, oh, I have the ability to surrender to God, that's why I'm able to cross over. No, it is Paramatma's grace only that makes us cross over all the difficulties. Okay. Now, so he's saying the other part of the sloka is, if we do not listen and do not follow his advice, then we'll have to go through the difficulties. Right? I mean, if we follow, we will overcome the difficulties. If we do not follow, then we'll go through the difficulties. That means we'll continue to take births in the samsara. Okay? Each birth leads to accumulation of more karmic bondage. And with each birth, potentially, so each birth is potentially worse compared to the previous birth, right? So as we acquire more karmic bondage, we have to experience whatever karmic bondage we have in the next life. So it is potentially even more worse, isn't it? So I have a loan of say $100,000, and then I did some business and I get, I had to take more loans. So my loan has increased. then every time I get losses, my loan is increasing because I have to continue. So that debt it keeps on increasing. The karmic bondage keeps on increasing if you don't follow Lord Krishna's advice. If you don't follow exactly what he prescribed for us, we will continuously acquire more karmic bondage only. Okay. Now, Lord Krishna is referring to this as we will perish. Right? We will perish in the sense that we will continuously going to become worse and worse and worse. Okay. It does not mean Atma will perish or die or cease to exist. It means Atma will reach a state where it becomes extremely hard to come back to reach a state of liberation. Right? That is equivalent to perishing, right? I mean, like somebody goes so far that we are not able to see is equivalent to not having the person at all there. Isn't it?
Yes, that is correct.
Right. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter to us whether the person is there and I cannot see that person. So he's as good as perished.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it is in our mind we can think that he's there. Even if he perishes, and after going so far, if he perishes, we will not even make a difference. It will not make a difference for us. It's only in our mind. Because anyway, we're not going to see that person. So when Atma goes so far below, okay, that is equivalent to perishing. Because it can never come up. It cannot come to a state like, like in this example of that person is never coming back. Even if the person is living the other side of the world, is never coming back. It's as good as perished. Okay. So after, like imagine, just I was trying to think about this. So after several billions and billions of years, okay, we are blessed to receive this knowledge. So imagine ourselves, Atma, not this body. We are here, right? We are not liberated. Now, when we are here, that means we must be existing all along. And all along we are existing not in one body, different bodies. Okay. Now we are in this state of, we are able to get this knowledge. We reached up to this point where we can get the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Imagine how many billions of years we went through. Just to imagine, one day of Brahma is 4.32 billion years. One day of Brahma is 4.32 billion years. It is 1000 Chaturyugas is equivalent to 4.32 billion years. Now, approximately, for this Brahma, approximately 50 years passed. So what is our age? In this Brahma's creation, our age is 4.32 billion years times 365 times 50. Okay.
Yes.
For so many years, we have been going through different bodies. Now, we were existing even before this Brahma. So the previous Brahma had gone through 100 years. Like that, there are several Brahmas before this. So we have been going through this for eternally. Okay. So after taking so many births, we are now here talking about Paramatma, God. How lucky we are. Isn't it? All the people who took birth as humans, they are so lucky to get the human birth. But unfortunately, they don't realize. If they don't realize, then they'll have to go through this another trillions and trillions of years. Okay, it's not guaranteed that we will attain liberation just because we are getting this knowledge, but not having this knowledge is guaranteed to put us in the samsara, right? So we concentrate on Paramatma. We get, I mean, just concentrate on Paramatma is just one thing at a very high level. Do all our activities, taking refuge in Paramatma, dedicating all our activities, and all that. So when we are doing that, okay, we are going in the right direction. We are going closer and closer to Paramatma. It's a God, with God's grace, we may get liberation. Okay. But if we do not listen, that's what he's saying. If we do not listen or accept this knowledge, why we do not listen is because of our ahankara. Okay. Ahankara. So that's what Lord Krishna mentioned. Due to ahankara, thinking, why do I have to listen? I know everything. I have knowledge and I can decide what to do, how to do, and so on. If we have this ahankara, then we'll continue this path of destruction. Destruction in the sense that we will not be destroyed, but it is as good as getting destroyed because we'll go so far. So in this particular life, we probably got a chance to clear off billions and billions of years of karmic bondage just by following some of the practices. Okay, may not guarantee us, liberation, but if we do not listen and if we do not follow his practices, then we are going to perish, as good as perishing, right? So typically we have like when we look at this and say, oh, if we follow God, if we pray to God, all my difficulties will be over. If we don't follow God, I'll go to hell. It's oversimplification. I mean, it's not that just by surrendering to Paramatma, all our difficulty in this life will be zero. No, that's not what the real knowledge is. It is not like somebody has a health problem and then they pray to God, suddenly the health problem will go away. I mean, there are, I don't want to take the names, but there are, people who say, oh, come to pray this God, this religion. And then, if you follow this for 11 days and then whatever problem you're having will be vanished. If your God is not able to do that, you come to my God and then he will do it for you. That is a unfortunate thing that is happening, and people are falling for it because of the ignorance, right? The real difficulty is not whether you have the some health problem today or not. That is not the real difficulty. The real difficulty is you are going through this lives forever, right? 4.32 billion years times 365 times 15 in this Brahma's life. We have been doing that. And then it really doesn't matter whether my health problem gets solved or not in this life. What I should be thinking about is, am I going to go through this life for another trillion years? Right? So falling for such gimmicks is the problem, that because it happens because of the ignorance, we're not able to get the real knowledge. So if we get the real knowledge, we understand what we are supposed to do, why we need to listen, what will happen if we listen, and what will happen if we don't listen. Now the thing is that if we don't listen, it is not like, oh, if I pray to God, I will pass this test. If I don't pray to God, I'll fare bad in the test. No. It has nothing to do with praying to God. right? And if let us say I prayed to God, but still I failed my test, then oh, maybe God is angry with me. All these are it's total ignorance. If like we have certain karmic bondage that we need to experience. Okay, just by praying to God for one day is not going to wipe out that karmic bondage we have been carrying for billions of years, right? So what we can try to do is cut down that karmic bondage. May not be whatever is assigned to us this life. We have been carrying like so much sanchita karmas, karmic bondage, that whatever we have, that baggage of karmic bondage, that we can reduce. Okay, we may not be able to cut down what we have this life at all. Okay, and so whatever we do has no impact. It may help us in trying to alleviate our pains. Okay, but whatever activities that we are following here removes the difficulties, means we will get rid of this entire, the entire cycle of taking births itself, which is a much higher benefit than than just curing certain disease, or just curing some financial problem or physical mental problem. And just getting rid of the entire karmic bondage is much more valuable, right? So by following Lord Krishna's advice, by listening to him and practicing, we are getting much higher benefit. It is possible we may go through the same difficulties, in this particular life, but that is not our concern. Those will not even become difficulties. Typically, we have difficulties because of ignorance, right? Because everything is for my happiness. So if I wash the dishes, I'm not able to see a TV program, or I'm not able to play a game, or I'm not able to talk to my friend, or enjoy. So that's why that the activity becomes difficult for me, or painful for me. But all those they're simply some duties that I have nothing to do with my happiness. Then washing dishes is not going to make me unhappy. Okay, um, it is our frame of mind will change. Just giving washing dishes is an example. Like it could be any activity that we think is difficult today will not become difficult if we consider all of them as simple duties that I need to do, and dedicate the result to God. That's it. Okay. If we are not able to if we are not able to focus on God because of certain difficulties, then that is a bigger problem. But if you are able to focus on God, then doesn't matter what activities that we are doing. Okay. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay. We have two more slokas for today. Sloka 59. Yadyahankaramāsritya
Yadyahankaramashritya
nayosya iti manyase
nayotsya iti manyase
midhyaisha vyavasayaste
midhyaisha vyavasayaste
prakritistvam niyokshati.
prakritistvam niyokshati.
Let's chant together. Yadyahankaramashritya
Yadyahankaramashritya
nayosya
nayosya
iti
iti
manyase
manyase Mithyaisha
midyaisha
vyavasayaste
vyavasayaste
Prakritistvam
prakritistvam
niyokhyati.
niyokhyati. Okay. Yadi ahankaramashritya nayosya iti manyase. Yadi, if ahankaramashritya, if because we took the refuge or we approached ahankaram, okay? Asritya is after taking refuge in, ahankaram, ahankaram is ego. The false notion of independence. Ahankaram is like the biggest ahankaram is I am body, not atma. Okay. Then from there comes, okay, I am body, I am independent, I have freedom, I can do whatever I want. Why do I have to? Now that is, then comes, why do I have to listen to somebody? Why do I have to follow some scripture? Why do I have to do this? Why can't I do that? I mean, so everything is because of ahankara. What is in it for me? Aham, 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 aham. That feeling of ego. Okay. Yadi ahankaram asritya. If you take refuge in ahankaram, na yotse iti manyase. If you you think, okay, manyase, if you think, na yotse iti, okay, I will not fight, like this. Okay, so Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, right? So because in the previous sloka I said, if you don't listen, you will perish. Now, why do you don't listen? Is because of ahankara, right? Simply say, he said, due to ahankara, if you do not listen, you will perish. Now he's saying, if you approach everything, or if you take refuge in ahankaram, okay, or you base your judgment, your actions on ahankaram, and if you think that I will not fight, okay, then what happens?
Oh. What is fight?
Oh, that is, he has to fight, right? Ahankara, sorry, Arjuna is supposed to fight.
Oh, fight again.
Yeah. So,
He'll be,
okay. I mean, so here we need to apply to ourselves. Like, because of ahankara, I don't want to do my duty. I will not do my duty. What's in it for me if I think, and it's not giving me happiness, so I don't want to do it. Okay, I don't want to do my duty. Okay, because of ahankara, that's what happens. Like, why would somebody not do their duty? They think their ego comes into picture. They do not think of the bigger picture. They only think about themselves, right? What's in it for me? I mean, this simple contemporary language is what's in it for me, and I am independent. I don't have to listen to anybody. Why should I do it? I mean, that is exactly, nowadays, I mean, it is taught from day one to our kids, in the contemporary world. Why do I have to do it? That's simple question. All of us are also asking, but to some extent, I mean, our three generations before us were not asking that many times. We are asking too many times, and the next generation asks for everything. What's in it for me? I will not do. Like you have to respect, say, your teachers and elders. You have to prostrate. Why do I have to do it? That's a simple question. What's in it for me? If I do Sastanga Namaskara, what am I getting? What do you answer? I can't show anything there. I mean, it is that because um, they don't have that concept of this is my duty, I have to do it. This is what scriptures say, I have to do it. This is what my culture is, I have to do it. And it's not there at all, let us say. Then for everything, it is like whatever they wish, whatever we wish, whatever we think of doing, we will do it. I will give an example. I mean, if time permits, it's more relevant. Why society is all getting corrupted nowadays. So after taking refuge in that ego feeling, if you think, he's telling Arjuna that if you think that you will not fight, okay, like that, okay, eshaha te vyavasayaha, okay, mithya. So that your independence, eshaha, is talking about your whatever. Eshaha means this, like what is this here is that your decision of not fighting. That means your independence. Independence is because I have the decision making ability, so I took a decision. I don't care whether my family says this, my my duty, because I'm a, like I'm talking like Arjuna now, right? So Arjuna is a Kshatriya, is supposed to protect the dharma in the society, and the other side is representing adharma. They're causing so much problem in the society. Everybody is getting corrupted because of them. Okay, so as a Kshatriya, as a follower of dharma, his duty is to punish the dharma. Okay, now he decided, oh, I don't want to, it is my duty, fine, but I have independence to think. Now, because I'm going to hurt my great grandfather, my guru, because they are on the other side, so I don't want to fight. Okay, that is, he independently thought that that I will not fight. So this independence, okay, this independent of yours, that is that you don't want to fight, okay, that resolve, vyavasaya is a resolve or determination. Vyavasayatmaka buddhi, we learned in second chapter. So that vyavasaya is that resolve. Mithya is going to be futile. I mean, it's going to be an illusion, wrong. So why? Because prakritihi tvam niyokshasi. Because your prakriti, your inherent nature, right? What is his inherent nature? Arjuna's nature is Kshatriya, is he's so, yeah, he's so that valor, that he's fighter, right? So that is his inherent nature. It is not, his inherent nature is not to go and pray in the forest. His inherent nature is a fighter. So his inherent nature will niyokshati. It will impel him, inside him. Tvam, inside you, is telling, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna. So even if you think that you will not fight, that your decision, that in your independence resolve, independent determination, that I am not going to fight, I'm not going to fight, will be an illusion for you, or it will be futile. It will be, I mean, you'll not be successful in that, because your inherent nature of being a Kshatriya will incite you to fight. Okay. So this is our inherent nature is something that is going to show up no matter how much we try to suppress it. Okay. That something, sometimes imagine if Arjuna says that he will run away from the um, like Kurukshetra war. He would not have sit idle for more than half an hour, 1 hour. Okay. He would be thinking, oh, I should have been fighting. He comes here, he will have this independent resolve saying that, no, I should not fight. And he will go back. And then when he goes there, his mind will not become stable. He'll come, even though his mind, he is probably physically there, his mind will continue to fight. Okay. So it is a mithya. Like you think that you are able to control yourself, but no, you will not be able to control yourself. You may not be physically, Arjuna may argue saying, no, if I just run away 1,000 miles, then how can I fight? That's fine. But in his mind, he will always be fighting. Okay. So that causes trouble. So he will not be able to focus on Paramatma. He will not be able to go to the next level.
So, Professor, sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
So does this mean that, or let's say, I know all of us have inherent tendencies.
Yes.
For example, let us say, if you want to go and do something, let's say, you want to become a priest or, a warrior, or let's say somebody wants to take sannyasa. They go to an ashram and they say, I'm a sannyasi now. Then their mind will keep on pulling them back into samsara, or, they feel guilty that they left the family. So if somebody wants to really change, for example, if we take, even though in the past our tendency was not to learn Bhagavad Gita, now with Acharya's grace, we developed the tendency to, learn this knowledge. So is Bhagavan saying that actually it is not possible to change the inherent nature completely? Is a correct way to interpret, or?
Yeah, it is. It is not possible to change the inherent nature completely. So it is a gradual process. So typically what happens is, no, I want to, I'm just giving an example, right? So I want to, I see a CEO of a company, right? A CEO of a company is famous, is getting a lot of money. Okay, now I want to become a CEO. So then I go and sit in that CEO chair chair. Okay. Now what happens is that CEO should have the inherent ability to govern the entire company, right? Should have all the skills needed and all that. They shouldn't be, thinking of anything other than running the company, let us say, right? And this person who is not a CEO, but just because his CEO is famous and has a lot of money, I'm having so many, let us say I'm having so many financial problems, and nobody cares about me. I want to show off in the society. Now I want to go and sit in that CEO seat. Okay. I'll not be able to function. It will be such a miserable state. Okay.
Yes.
Because my inherent nature, even though I am sitting in that CEO seat, I'll start thinking about NFL football, or I'll start thinking about some movies, or start thinking about enjoyments. So my inherent nature will not let me do that job, whatever is supposed to be in that particular situation properly. Okay, so I'll be an utter failure. It causes a lot of problems. It appears good from outside, but it will cause a lot of problems. Same, one great example that you gave is taking sannyasa, right? So relinquishing all responsibilities, family responsibilities, and taking sannyasa. And now, of course, it doesn't mean that they relinquished responsibilities of the entire society. The entire society becomes their family now, not just their own immediate family. Okay, so but if I'm too much attached to my family, how can I take sannyas? I'm too much attached to my family, and I'm not attached to the entire society. I don't think of the problems in the entire society, or try to lift up the downtrodden or some disadvantaged, all those. Then I will not be able to take sannyas. Even if I put on those clothes, I will not be able to get the benefit of taking sannyas. There is certain benefits that you get out of taking sannyas, like getting the benefits as a CEO, for example, right? Get more money or fame. The next day they will be fired. Sannyasa, nobody will fire them, but they will not be able to function as a sannyasi in a proper way. Their inherent nature will impel them. Very, very good, relevant question I wanted to bring up. So I saw, I mean, if you take 5 minutes, there was a guy who is not coming from the background where people who learn the scriptures properly, who would understand the scriptures properly and able to communicate the scriptures properly. He's not from that background. Okay. Now, he's on YouTube. Whatever he thinks is, he says. Okay. Now, he started explaining about Ramayana. Okay. So he started saying, I'm going to, it is there actually, if anybody is interested, should see that. And Ramayana story, I read it. This is what I think. Okay. In that Ramayana story, of course, it's not a story, it is history, it really happened. But let us say, according to him, it is, Rama is the hero. Ravana is a villain in that. Is it really true? And then he started arguing, making so many arguments, totally false. Okay. So, so first he said Rama, was with Sita, and Shurpanakha came. He gave so many instances. I'll just give one instance. Shurpanakha came to Rama and wanted to, she was fascinated by Rama's thing. She loved Rama. So she came and said, okay, will you marry me? And then he said, Rama cut her nose and ears. How can he be a hero? Just because one lady comes and asks you that I want to marry, how can and I if you, is it okay to cut the ear and nose? If somebody cuts like that, will he become a hero? Is he a hero character? Okay. Now, then Shurpanakha went to his brother Ravanasura and said, Ravanasura, oh brother, this person cut my ears and nose. And Ravanasura came and kidnapped Sita. Which brother in this world will not do that? Which brother will keep quiet when somebody somebody cut the ear and nose of a sister. Will anybody keep quiet? So Ravanasura, why is he a villain? Isn't he a hero character? Okay. So then he wanted to kidnap, he wanted to do the same thing that Rama did. In it, I mean, not same like cutting the ear and nose of Sita, but he wanted to give a lesson to Rama. This is what he was saying. He wanted to give a lesson to Rama. So when Rama is not there in the place, he did not touch Sita. He was so great. Ravanasura is so great that he did not want to touch Sita. So he lifted Sita, he lifted the earth, the place where she was standing, lifted it and put her in the, the Sita in his chariot and kidnapped Sita. He never touched Sita. Okay. Isn't he a hero?
That's because he would die if he touches.
No. But here the situation, this is what.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, the basic.
Viparita Gnana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He studied Ramayana. So he said, I studied, and then he gave references like I saw in the movie, I heard something, or I studied. Basically, his inherent character is not to get the knowledge of the scriptures. His inherent character, inherent quality, with that, he cannot get the knowledge properly. Okay? So his inherent character is ignorance. So, and his inherent character is not surrendering to Paramatma to get the proper knowledge. So what he did, he saw a movie. In one of the movies, who was also like him, did not read Valmiki Ramayana. And then he wanted to show Ravanasura as a hero. In that movie, yes, it was the movie where he lifted like the earth from, Sita was standing on like a piece of earth. He lifted the earth. He did not touch Sita. That's what they showed in the movie. But in fact, Ravanasura actually held Sita by the hair.
Hair.
Yeah. He did not marry her. He could not marry her against her wishes. But he could do he can do anything to her apart from just marrying, right? So I mean, it was not like, oh, if he touches Sita and he's going to burn, then why can't Sita touch him, right? He would have burnt, isn't it? I mean, it was so illogical. The thing is that the reality was something. And because these people are ignorant, their inherent quality is ignorance. They could not strive to get what is the right thing. So they only saw, because of their laziness and ignorance, they only saw a picture, movie, and they thought that is real. Okay. So their inherent character gave them the wrong picture. And then with that inherent character of ignorance and laziness, they made some imagination, and thought that they got the whole, they understood the whole thing, and then they totally misrepresented. Now all the people who are seeing that video, they are also ignorant if they don't understand what really happened. They look at now this guy's video and then think that really Ravanasura is a hero and Rama is a villain. Okay, he conveniently missed certain details, like Shurpanaka wanted to marry Rama, wanted Rama to marry her, and Rama said, "I'm also already married, and here is my wife." Let us say, I'm not giving the exact things, right? But then Shurpanaka wanted to kill Sita, right? So then Rama cannot keep quiet. So he has to do something, right? So instead of killing Shurpanaka, he actually gave her a lesson saying that, should not be doing this, right? So, I mean, Rama and Lakshmana, they gave her a lesson. You should not, come near us. If you do such thing, then we are going to hurt you. They did not kill Shurpanaka. Ideally, they should have killed in his terms, right? Okay. Now Shurpanaka went to Ravanasura, and then not directly. She first got other, other Rakshasas, and then they fought, and then all that, and then Shurpanaka went to Ravanasura, and she knows that Ravanasura has a, is a Stree Lolud, like Vesanam, right?
Womanizer.
Yeah, woman. Yeah, exactly. So if she goes and says, this Rama, did this to me, you go and fight Rama, Ravanasura, go, I don't care, right? So, she said, oh, this Sita is so beautiful, you get Sita. You have to marry Sita, or you have to get her. She didn't say try to teach a lesson to Rama. He didn't care of teaching a lesson to Rama. If that was the case, he would have fought Rama there, right? I mean, why would he kidnap Sita? So this guy, with his inherent quality of ignorance, again I'm repeating, try to look at something, and then they will only see what they believe in, right? That's why inherent character is so important. Like with sattvic inherent quality, when somebody looks at something, they will get the real knowledge. With tamasic inherent quality, when they look at something, they get the opposite knowledge. Okay. So even though they may read the book, okay, their inherent quality is going to act like a filter. Now, fine, they got a wrong picture. Did he stop there? No. Now he's promoting the concept of Rama is a villain and Ravanasura is a hero in everywhere. Okay. So now that is the quality of again Rajasic and Tamasic, right? Sattvic person does not incite such things. Now, so the problem is that if it is a sattvic person gets the right knowledge, with his inherent quality, he will be able to communicate what he learned. He's able to teach properly. He's able to understand Ramayana and able to teach Ramayana properly. If it is tamasic person doing it, gets an incorrect picture, and he is inciting it, he's not communicating it properly to everybody, right? Now, his goal is not to teach Ramayana properly. His goal is to make other people hate, which is again Rajasic and Tamasic qualities, right? So by assuming a position of a preacher, like now when he's telling about Ramayana, other people are seeing him as a preacher, right? He's not now he's not claiming as a preacher, but he's talking about Ramayana, so he's a preacher. He doesn't have any inherent quality of a preacher. Supposed to be sattvic. Now, can I not become a preacher? If somebody asks, right? Yeah, you should have the inherent quality first. I mean, if you don't have the inherent quality, the output that you get is not useful for you and not useful for others. Okay. So, I mean, that is where the inherent quality comes into picture. It is not because somebody wants to, prevent, this guy from teaching Ramayana. If he is able to develop that inherent quality first, he is able to spend a few years really reading Valmiki Ramayana and, word by word understanding, and do the Sustrusha, like seva to his Acharya, get the knowledge from Acharya, then he is eligible to preach Ramayana. But he didn't do any such thing. Oh, just because, if I say that, you cannot preach Ramayana, then he'll say, oh, you're from this higher caste, so that's why you are telling. Okay. But if he doesn't have the inherent quality, then he shouldn't be doing it. It is a problem for the society, that what is happening today, because everybody can do put videos online, that people are simply putting whether they have inherent quality of being a sattvic, or they have the quality of being a preacher, inherent quality of a preacher. They are simply putting stuff on online without having proper understanding. So then it is troublesome for everybody. Compared to it, in our Swamijis, they study a lot. They went through, many years of study. Okay, and not just study, develop the sattvic quality. Like first we need to prepare ourselves with that kind of sattvic quality. Then we get the proper knowledge when we read something, and then when we listen to somebody, or when we see the picture, we'll understand, oh, this is not correct. Without understanding, they simply, and then what happens is these people go and teach other people. And when we ask questions saying that why are you doing this, then they say, oh, then I'm not supposed to do this because I'm don't belong to this particular caste or creed or something like that. They miss the point. The point is inherent quality. So here Lord Krishna is saying that his inherent quality is Kshatriya. So he will behave like Kshatriya. Even if he tries to suddenly decide, oh, I want to run away from this battlefield, he will not suddenly become sannyasi immediately. Okay, it is going to be a mithya. Had he been practicing this, if just leave everything for many years, he do kshatriya, serving a guru, and just not in this business at all, kshatriya business, yeah, that's fine. But he was not. He was just simply, the guy who was I talking about, he had a lot of charge sheets. He himself claimed that he was having so many drunk cases, and he was beating some people. So he claimed himself as Rajik Tamasik. So obviously he was not in a position to read, understand Ramayana, but he is kind of questioning, oh, no, all these people who are teaching Ramayana are telling the wrong thing. Now I read it, I understood the real meaning, I'm able to tell the actual meaning. Unfortunately, that is what our YouTubes have become, with so many people and spreading lies all over the place. Again, so many questions people get about Ramayana or Mahabharata. They can twist. When I told this story, if people didn't have a proper understanding of Ramayana, if they have not read Ramayana, they would think, oh, that's right. Oh my God, Rama did all these things, and Ravana was so great that he was, he didn't even touch Sita. Oh my God, it's such a pure person. But Ravanasura had so many wives. He wanted to just get any lady that he wants. He can put his hands on. Okay, and then he gave so many instances actually, and unfortunately don't have time. But if you, from his point of view, with the lack of that inherent ability to understand what is needed to understand, like to understand is one thing. What is needed to understand is the sattvic quality that was not there, and there is no concept of sattvic quality at all. Anybody can do anything. That is a problem. Like that's why anybody can become a journalist. Anybody can become, if say anybody can become a soldier, they will unfortunately they will run away from the battlefield, or they will get killed if they don't have practice, if they don't have the inherent ability to, inherent nature to actually fight and protect. If anybody can become a priest and they have a tamasic or rajasic quality, then we see what is happening. Poor people, they come, for guidance. They take advantage of them. Some of those people who have tamasic, rajasic tendencies, they take advantage because there is no checks and balance. What is the inherent quality of the person? So there's nothing wrong in doing a particular task, but they're they are supposed to, they should be supported by the inherent quality. If they don't have the inherent quality, it's only a mithya that they will be able to do the task. That will lead to the failure. It is wrong. It is an illusion. Whatever we think we are doing is an illusion. So that is exactly what Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, that if you run away, if you think that with your ignorance, if you think that you can run away from the battlefield, if you think that you will not fight, okay, then it will be an illusion, a failure. It's wrong, because your inherent nature will impel you to fight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. So, I mean, people are, they're simply, putting all these videos about the Russia-Ukraine war and all that. I mean, whether they have the inherent quality to even understand about what's happening, and how can you justify that kind of invasion? People simply, I mean, there was a video, somebody was saying that, oh, Mahabharata war was justified, then why can't this war be justified? I mean, they're trying to link Mahabharata war, which is a necessity and which is based on dharma. They then say, and then link it to some other war, which is probably not necessity. I mean, I don't want to judge anything, but people are not having understanding, and then just imagine stuff, because of illusion that they can do it. Okay, they can, like Arjuna thought, I can become a jnana yogi, I can do and go and do tapas. That's an illusion. These people have an illusion that they can analyze anything, and then but it is very clear in front of our eyes that innocent people are getting killed, right? So I don't know what's the justification for those kind of things. But anyway, people, unfortunately, they misrepresent what our scriptures say, our our knowledge tells us, and that's how things will spread. Anyway, thank you so much. We'll conclude here.
Yeah, 1 second, sir. I just
Sure.
wanted to share my experience. So my back home, like in 80s and 90s, my father used to be the dean, and then he was a radiologist, head of the department before that, right? And then he had that authority of making the decisions of whether to select MD students or not. And we used to have, and then he worked honestly and genuinely, right? Coming from a different class, it was very hard to get there, right? Because that was a town full of different caste, right? You know.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
my father, my father used to stop the MD admissions for the people who are not really eligible, right? And then we had a lot of people from various places, like they were called Reddys, I don't know. So they used to come with money, black money, not just give to the hospital and then the other people in the administration, and then to my father too, right? And then at some point they never ever would dare to come, because my father would really be very angry and then debar or whatever, right? Them from from the premises, if they would do that. Not even sweet box, right? So he was very strict. And then we used to get blackmail letters, right, from different people. You know, I know you have children growing up. We will kill them and we'll put them into pieces and everything. But my father always said, if you have faith in God, right, and if you do Gayatri Japa to my brother, they used to say, because they used to always target my brother, they'll kill him, you know. So, but he always said, if you do that, nobody can come closer to you, right? So that's, I mean, God was, I mean, it's always great, right? Nothing happened. But he had that guts, and he put that guts in us too, right? You know, you need to face it, but don't follow the bad path or wrong path. So for that reason, see, although he was in radiology, he had little control on the radiology. But when he became more than that in the administration, he was able to control surgeons, meaning MD surgery, MS surgery, right? So they would just say, no, you cannot really, you're not eligible because you cannot play with patients, live patients, right? If something goes wrong, then you cannot. So, but even then, despite that, they would have very higher influence from CM or whatever. They would come directly and then pay money and then become surgeons. And in many incidents that, you know, they went wrong. And then also one of them wrote the letter to my father a long time back, right? I'm so sorry, sir. I realized that I don't fit in this profession. I don't know, whatever happened, wherever it would happen. He quit and he became something else, politician or something, of, you know, manager, whatever, in different place. But we start getting those letters, right? That's what my father said. You know, you need to follow the right path. You have to understand where you can fit in, right? So I mean, I'm just throwing whether these things, I don't know if it is relevant or not, maybe non-relevant, but you're right, sir. So if you don't fit in, we shouldn't be doing that, especially being a surgeon. You have to be really efficient to do some things, right? So yeah.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I mean, these are all, they're, in the olden days, they are different set of castes or classes. They used to do certain activities, and there were some things that were defined, that people would develop their qualities from childhood. But now it is defined in terms of, you know, a doctor, an engineer, or a soldier, or a businessman, you know, or farmer. These are all anybody can do, but every activity, every job that we have requires certain qualities, inherent qualities. And if you don't have those qualities, no matter how lucrative that is and all that, I mean, if you don't have the quality, we'll not be able to do those things properly. And you know, this journalism is one important thing. There is no such thing like a uh, like you know, no, um, nobody is saying that, okay, journalists should follow certain things. Like doctors, for example, they cannot, they go through certain what is it, oath, right? They have certain oath. Lawyers, they have some oath. But journalists are now giving all kinds of, I mean, everything they will twist, because there's no oath for them. It is just, whatever information, whatever comes to their mind, they'll just say. So everything has, all the social media, so many lies are being propagated all over the place, because everybody is telling whatever they think is right, or whatever somebody pays money, or they have certain motive. Okay, nobody is now believing, from the people who are in power to people who are not in power, everybody is twisting and then sending the information. So it has become a problem, and people are taking advantage of that problem. That is an unfortunate thing. Had there been a group which says that, okay, if you want to publish certain thing, you have to take an oath that you are not going to look for your own personal benefits, you are not going to harm the society, you are not going to have bias, all these things. Let us say if you put them as an oath and everybody follows that, then we don't have so much, so many lies floating around. Okay, thank you so much. We will conclude with the concluding prayer. Kayena vacha mansendriyaiva udhyatmana va prakte svabhava karomi yajjat sakalam tasmai
Narayanaaya samarpayami.
Srimannarayanaya
Samarpayami.
Om Shri Krishna
Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
Om Sadgurubhyo Namaha.
Namaha.
Jai Srimannarayana.
Jai Srimannarayana.
Jai Srimannarayana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I will stop recording.